Bonsoir, bonsoir, chers frères et sœurs. Comme chaque soir, nous sommes là face à la lumière divine qui se manifeste donc au-dessus de moi. Comme cela se fait souvent, vous voyez comment c'est d'abord une bénédiction, une pluie de bénédiction au-dessus de ma tête. Et vous avez la lumière au-dessus. La lumière a déjà signalé à partir de la fenêtre de ma chambre. Elle a illuminé légèrement les livres et elle s'est éteinte. Ça veut dire que tous les livres que j'ai classés sont bons. C'est tout ce qu'il m'a donné. Et il va falloir qu'on essaie de préparer progressivement. J'ai commencé le tri des livres. Et surtout les chapitres élaborés. Nous avons parlé de l'économie et je vous ai parlé des recherches et surtout les résultats de ces recherches, mes découvertes que nous avons ensemble. Nous allons voir comme vous le savez, j'étais à la recherche des modèles et suggestions pour voir comment est-ce que nous pouvons aussi participer à la globalisation. Et nous avons donc élaboré des modèles puis nous entendons nous-mêmes comment les gens qui ont bloqué ce travail venir eux-mêmes nous raconter. Et nous allons ensemble lire les 5 principes de paix. Donc, je commence par là. La première question que je pose est la suivante. If the reserve concerning the balance of payment of their export commodity representing 85% since then could be paid to them, will there be any form of debt issue again on their shoulders? This issue could be found in the Book of the General History of Africa, page 355, volume 8, UNESCO, with more details. Yes, because it is said that according to the findings related to this framework, it is estimated that third world producers obtain not more than 15% of the value of their export commodities as paid for by the consumers, industrial countries. As long as third world producers, of whom African constitute some of the poorest, remain price takers rather than price setters. Price setting is the privilege of the consuming nations. Continue to have scarcely any control over the processing, shipping, and marketing, which are monopolized by the transnational corporations of industrial countries, and continue to be discriminated against by a pattern of protection in the industrialized countries, which directly contravenes GATT rules. That is, as long as the crisis of the old international economic order survives in its present form. Third, that is, as long as the crisis of the old international economic order survives in its present form, third world countries, particularly African countries, have little hope of climbing out of their mass of poverty. And then we come to say, if the reserve concerning the balance of payment of their export commodities representing 85% since then could be paid to them, will there be any form of debt issues again on their shoulders? This issue could be found in the Book of General History of Africa, page 355, volume 8, UNESCO, with more details. Yes. 5 principles of peaceful coexistence, New World Economic Order. Let us see my proposal. The principles of spirit enshrined in the OAU Charter and other universally recognized norms governing international relations should form the political basis for the new international order. Furthermore, it is imperative to establish some new principles responsive to the spirit of the times, and to the changes and developments in the world, provided that people of all nations can reach consensus. A. In the new international order, the right of all countries to sovereign equality and to freedom from outside interference in their internal affairs must be ensured to them. All countries, big or small, strong or weak, rich or poor, should respect each other's sovereignty and independence. This is of paramount importance to world peace. They should not have the right to choose their own development path and model in light of their national conditions. No country should be allowed to impose its own social systems or ideology on others, nor should it be allowed to make irresponsible remarks on other countries' internal affairs. Peacekeeping operations must be based on the basic principles of getting prior consent from the parties concerned, neutrality, no use of force except for self-defense, and obtaining authorization from the UN Security Council. Such operations must aim at maintaining peace and should not be used as a means to pursue selfish ends. B. In the new international order, all countries should be ensured their right to participate in international affairs on an equal footing. It is the people of all countries who are the main players behind the world development. As such, they should participate in the management of the world. It is imperative to promote democracy in international relationships, address international issues through consultation, and meet the challenges facing mankind together. The movement toward political multipolarity of the world will be conducive to the democratization of international relations. The positive role of the United Nations should be strengthened, so should the status and role of the developing countries and international and regional organizations composed of such countries. C. In the new international order, the right of all countries to development based on equality, especially that of the developing countries, should be ensured. To help developing countries to boost their economy is vital to a lasting peace and common development of the world. Developed countries should effectively reduce or exempt the debts owned by developing countries, help them to enhance their capabilities for self-development, and vigorously develop their human resources with a view to gradually narrowing the gap between the North and the South in economy, science and technology, and other fields. They should not do nothing but seek natural resources, market, and profit from the developing countries. The international community should take more aggressive and effective measures to reform the international economic, trade, and financial systems so as to effectively safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of developing countries. D. In the new international order, all ethnic groups and civilizations should be ensured their right to common development. The world is a colorful and diverse one. Various ethnic groups and civilizations inevitably differ from one another, and each has its own advantages given their distinctive histories, cultures, and development models. This is the fundamental reason why the world is full of vitality. Only when the diversity of the world is respected can various ethnic groups and civilizations live in harmony, learn from each other, and complement each other. All ethnic groups and civilizations should respect each other, treat each other as equals, and pursue common progress and improvement in the spirit of seeking common ground while putting aside differences. Their differences should serve to encourage them to seek common development. Only by so doing will various civilizations in the world blossom with radiant splendor. E. An equitable and just new international political and economic order cannot possibly be put in place overnight. It will take an incremental process for such a system to take shape. So long as the international community, China and Africa included, work together, a new international political and economic order responsive fully to the demands and wishes of all people in the world will surely be established. In all the good news I want to share with the readers is a secret that my journey seemed to be a dream that come true. Yes. Next small video will be or I can just finish it, no problem. So, the World Economic Order is on the way as one could realize it. very soon. African countries cry for it, could probably see an end of the wrong systems where they stand as no right countries. Second, new model for external economic relations means the new North-South relations under globalization, fostering a favorable investment climate. Third, encouraging private investment requires both a favorable environment for such investment and financial institutions that can mobilize and direct financial resources to the persons and entities that can be expected to earn the greatest return commensurate with the risk. Fourth, many of the factors that create a favorable investment climate also inspire confidence in savers so that investment and savings should both increase with an improvement in investment conditions. Similarly, the factors that encourage domestic investment are also likely to be conducive to foreign investment. At the same time, however, efforts to improve the investment climate should take into account their impact on overall development and related national goals, much as ensuring adequate economic and social protection for all members of societies, including those in the labor force. An enabling domestic environment is vital for mobilizing domestic resources, increasing productivity, reducing capital flight, encouraging the private sector, and attracting and making effective use of international investment and assistance. The essential components of this enabling environment, including good governance, appropriate policy, and regulatory frameworks. Soon, macroeconomics policies, transparency, adequate infrastructure, and a developed financial sector. Certain institutions are crucial, especially effective legal systems, resonance political institutions, and well-functioning state bureaucracy. The importance now attached to developing a favorable investment climate is reflected in the numerous efforts to quantify its major components. There are, however, limits so to usefulness or measures of the quality of institutions and governance. In the first instance, as experience of both developed and developing countries shows, there is no unique set of effective institutions for successful development. Even in the recent past, there have been countries that achieved sound economic growth and a sustained reduction in poverty without conforming to the currently widely prescribed norms for governance and institutional development and their links to national competitiveness. Now, next video, I will set the proposals for Africa Sub-Saharan takeoff. This you can read in my book, page 156 to 159. The book title is Future Africa Sub-Saharan Takeoff in Light of Practice in Chinese Economic Development. Yes, this is our divine mission. Wrote by Dr. Ndomo Melingui Thérèse Aisha, under the supervision of Professor Wang Weiping. It is a PhD program in world economy, world economic development, and international relations. Yes, the doctor degree was issued by the School of Economics, Renmin University of China. Let's go to the next. Today is July 4th, 2022. I didn't put light because I'm under the divine light. As you see, you can see. And on top of me, I'm receiving like you can say like it's raining. I think most of you can see it. And the Lord just kept the light here. You see the light is here. It is the Lord light. Okay, let's go to the next video.